So thermal, again, cold spots. That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm the red, orange, and yellow guy, so we're going to be looking for blue and black. That's the way this is set up, so black cold, white hot. So with this, of course, I'm always looking for any of those blue or black spots to move on their own. We're always going to see blue or black because of the glass that's going to be around us, aluminum cans on the ground, signs, you guys are seeing the point. But I'm looking for that to either take shape as well, so head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. So that's what we've caught in the past. That's hopefully what we'll capture again. So I've been giving a lot of stats lately too, so with the stats on this particular guy, I capture about 4 to 5 pieces per year, not per episode. So I like to kind of point out that I am not a TV show host. I've been getting a lot of people showing up saying, oh, do you like Sam and Colby? Do you like Zach Bagans? Like, is it going to be like that? Like, I get that all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're not on a TV show. We are not on YouTube. So with this camera, if we're not recording, we're not going to capture. So that's the beauty of this camera. So nice slow movements are going to come out of you, Nate. Do you go by Nate or Nathan? Nate, perfect. Nice slow movements coming out of you on this guy. So I do watch these in double time. Much easier to find one of those moving anomalies if I'm watching it in fast forward, believe it or not. So again, the slower you move, the easier it's going to be for me to be able to capture something. Your start and stop is right there. You're going to handle this guy right-handed. As soon as it wants to show the camera, it will pop out of there. That is a FLIR, just so I don't know how familiar you are with thermal imaging. FLIR is basically what firemen would use to go run into a burning building with, so it's the real deal. It's not like a phone app you guys are going to be able to go home and download, which I'm sure you guys all look around for those thermal stuff.
So you basically just want me to leave it running all night?
No, so I'll give you the cues for the starts and stops, because we don't want to recreate the Blair Witch Project in between spaces. So right now you're not recording, so I mean, yeah, you're definitely fun to check it out if you want to, but normally I say just be relaxed in between spaces, and I'm always going to give the cues for the starts and stops on video, because we're going to be using another camera with this group as well. So this camera is new for you guys. You guys probably haven't seen this one yet, and you're going to be doing the demo for it. So Tyler, come on over. This one's going to go to you. You're going to stand right there so everybody can look over your shoulder. You guys have probably seen this on your Ghost Hunting TV shows. Make sure no cars are coming. Point that directly at me. You guys should be able to see me in there.
Yeah.
Got the purple stick figure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to point out a couple of things about that camera. So they use these all the time on your, TV shows, YouTubers, and it's normally a big, giant, chunky monkey tablet with the Xbox 360 camera. We're using Apple's LiDAR technology. It does the exact same thing, and it makes it portable for me to be able to bring it out here. However, I have 3 points for my face. Am I right? Is there 3 points on my face? I have 2 eyes and a nose. That's the depth perception of my face. My nose is in front of my face, my eyes are behind my face. So that will pick up on anything that has leaves or anything that is in front of something else. If I move out of frame, it's probably going to pick up on the parking meter because it's in front of the building, and it's going to put a stick man over top of it. Your camera is mainly designed, at least in my eyes, for debunking purposes. Now, in the event that I find something during my spot check of this video, I will take a screenshot and I will brighten it up to see if there's anything behind it that matches the outline of what's being shown to us. If there's nothing there that I can make out that's a man-made object, like a building, parking meter, Nate in the darkness, you guys are seeing the point, I'm not gonna count it. Obviously, if there's nothing there, that's when you guys are gonna get both screenshots, light and dark, so you can see what I'm seeing, and obviously we have a little bit of activity going on. Now, Tyler, if you see anything in there and you're not sure, just ask our ghost, whoever it might be, with our locations, can you please raise your right hand, lift your left leg, ask for something specific. So if you see that reaction inside the camera, hopefully you're recording it, and we actually have that interaction. Those are normally the only pieces that I will put 110% chance that this was definitely paranormal when we have that direct reaction. The other ones are all just their possibilities. So we'll kind of count them as a half a point. You'll see the point. So yeah, that's being the camera that you're using, and you only have one button as well. So I'll give you the cues just like Nate when we're okay to record. Step back in line. He's like super focused this time. Like he's like, ooh, something new. Perfect. Talking to dead people. That's why you guys showed up. So let's kind of get these all out there. Spirit boxes. If you're not familiar with them, this is the white noise from your TV shows, and then Zach Bagans puts up the bullshit in the middle of the screen trying to convince you guys of the same thing. Yeah, I seen that eye roll. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think he's the biggest. Well,
you could say it. You could say it. We're all recording.
I just don't like Zach Bagans.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody in my field does. Like, guys, yeah, he's a joke. So spirit boxes, the way mine are set up, they're slowed down on purpose. So when you guys are watching your TV shows and are claiming to hear a voice, there's no way to disprove that it wasn't radio chatter. Right. So my viewpoint is use the radio chatter. whatever you're hearing, you're going to hear song lyrics, commercials, and DJs on purpose. I actually slowed it down. You're not going to hear it's not going to be that way. So with this one, it's recording the entire session for us. That's the fun part. I will be writing down everything that you're saying in real time because I do keep a notebook, keeping track of all of the devices. But I do spot check this when I get back to the office. That's the fun part for me. And for every 5 minutes that's recorded, I listen to 1 minute. Whatever I find in that 1 minute is what I find. In the event, you guys already know that when I do find something that might be relevant to our location, you'll have a link to be able to verify that piece of information. So kind of keep that in mind as too. I'm giving you a crap ton of homework. Okay. The only thing you'll need to worry about, and the other one's going to go to Michaela. She already knows how to use this because she's done it before. So she's like, sweet. So with this one, your volume is right here. It's the only thing you need to worry about. It records it even Steven, so you can mess with it as much as you want. It's your comfort level. Most people will turn it down when I'm covering the history, and then when I spread us out, obviously they crank it up to their comfort level. So headphones go to you. You're the only one to hear that one in real time, and no, yours will not be synced with Michaela's. So you guys will be hearing different things. So that's the beauty of this. I don't sync anything. Michaela, do you remember how to operate this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let me start it up for you. Was I still using earbuds?
Yeah.
Last time? Yeah, I got rid of those. Like, this is going to be actually much better sound quality for you. So that earbud thing, like, it was just getting annoying, like trying to remember to throw those in there every day. So I was like, let me just sanitize headphones like crazy every day. I'd rather do that. We're getting much better results this way. All right, your volume's right there. Just turn it all the way down. You're welcome. That was nice and easy. I didn't have to re-explain it. It's super great.
You remember? You sure? Yeah.
Surprised you guys don't have half this equipment already. Mike has already requested this one, so this one's going to go back to him, but I will explain it to the whole group just in case you guys forgot how it works, and obviously they haven't seen it before. On the TV shows, you guys may have seen an obelisk. That's a little box that says the pre-built words back to you. I don't like the device because it only has 2,000 spooky terms in it. I've used one, I returned it. It's ridiculously expensive for what it provides. Believe it or not, it actually has, I use a digital word app, so it just generates words based off of listening to the radio stations the same way the 2U are. And it has over 9,000 words in it that are not all spooky terms. So this thing is about 20% accurate. So it's supplemental to what the other spirit boxes are listening to, so that's always super fun to be able to kind of see like how they complement each other. Cool thing for you guys, it gives us all the words with timestamps. I'll know exactly where we are and be able to see it if this supplements, plus when I'm going through your recording. So it's just kind of like last night they actually had 126 terms show up. You know the drill, don't show me every word. We'll be out here all night long. So we normally get about 75 to 100. We normally see about 15 to 20 of those that are going to be relevant to our space. So you will get the full word list back just because sometimes things are relevant to you guys. So the word satisfaction will not be on your word list, so that one goes over to you. Let's see. What
Teammate, bro. See? Yeah. When you start walking.
Yeah, that's why I wear pants every night.
Thanks for giving me the one.
I have pants on. I'm
When did the bugs show?
Oh yeah, you guys have, well, bugs are usually year-round around here, but you guys have always been here later in the year.
Yeah,
so.
we're always in the fall.
They're always in Florida, anyways.
Cash, you already know how this one works, but I'm going to explain it to everybody in case they forgot. This is basically a digital Ouija board. So what it's going to do is it's going to use EMF around us. Anytime there's an EMF spike, that's electricity in the air, it will give us a letter. That'll stop the cursor and drop that letter to the bottom row. You're going to be looking for words being spelled out for us, any anagrams, word scrambles, or any initials that I'll throw at you. So, of course, I'll give you kind of a refresher on the course of this and how it operates 2 stops around, just like we did last time. And then, like, I'm going to turn the sensitivity down right now because we are in between 2 electrical poles. It's giving us false positives right now, so you guys are seeing the point of why we don't always, like, have it cranked up. So, again, that one's going to go over to you. You got a few letters on there. I don't see anything relevant as of yet, but that's why I cranked it back. They're all false. Perfect. Normally, you guys see these on your TV shows. We're not using it. The reason why it doesn't go high enough for the spaces we're going. And I think I have you guys almost identically set up, except for Tyler, with exactly what you guys used last time. So this does not go high enough for the spaces we're going. It's an EMF meter, so it measures the electricity in the air the same way the Cash's device does. So this, again, doesn't go high enough. We're going to put it away. We're going to go with something much stronger than that. And we're going to go with a millimeter. Is this what you used last time? And again, you guys know you can intermingle amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
so
I don't remember.
but have at it. So this is going to go 8 times higher than the device that I just put away. 2.5 and higher is what we're looking for out of this, and of course I will give you the baseline for every new space we go to. Most of the time it'll be 2.5 unless I tell you otherwise, but we'll also escalate these numbers. So in the event that she gets a 2.5 and then a 5, that's your new baseline for that space. Don't give me anything below a 5 while we're there, and then we'll start over when we start with a new space.
Okay, but I don't need to press any buttons or
Nope.
anything.
All
And
you
how
gotta
about
do is-
these guys? Do they need to press anything?
So
Or?
Cash will have to show him a few things about
Okay.
his device, but it'll just be a refresher. One button, start and stop with Tyler's, and Michaela's already got the volume control on
Okay,
hers.
cool.
So the bottom is ambient temperature, so it is measuring the temperature around it. So in the event that Nate finds something, of course you and I can go prove it or debunk it in real time. If I don't see, like, he has a cold spot on the ground that's just kind of moving around, and I don't see an aluminum pan being pushed by a raccoon, then we might actually have something.
Okay.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a joke, everybody. Lighten up. Let's have some fun. Haha, there we go, finally. So yeah, 2.5 and higher. You might see a few spikes while we're here just because we are in between the 2 electrical poles. It'll probably go up to about 1.8 or a 2.0.
Okay.
But again, you don't need to hit any of those buttons. It's all ready to go.
Did you stop onto the parking lot?
What's that?
The parking lot? Did
No.
You stop? No?
Nope. I will never get rid of that space.
It's
Never.
where we had our Mustang.
The one with the.
The one where we saw the light in the parking garage?
Yeah. Okay, the one by the explosion barrel building or
No,
whatever.
I'm talking about the one.
Paper.
I'm talking about the one with the barn.
Yeah. So we're going to be going to the barn and then the lot that you're speaking.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, but there's a reason why we start here. So, Big John's place is haunted. Yes, I still tell the same damn story here because it does. What do you got? I can't make this stuff up. I promise you.
Big John.
That's the reason why we're here
I got John.
Seriously?
already. You guys are like magnets.
It's gonna be a good night.
It is. Well, or we're like in a perfect moon phase for it too. I'm just going to point that out there. So
But we don't want to bring anything home with us, so.
You won't.
Okay, thanks.
You won't. It'll be fine. Trust me. They're not going anywhere.
Okay.
We're not close.
Now, of course, John used to be a football player. It was his place. He played for the 1947 New York Giants. Whenever I'm giving you the history of a space, mainly for the communication devices that we're using tonight, I will always give you the slow down on the common keywords that we get there. So keywords here would be 47, New York, Giants, anything relative to a bar, and obviously the name John. Now, John used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys came in. They were not old enough to drink. John basically had the bartender throw them out, and they left pretty pissed off. They came back the next night and tried to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John saw what was going on from the back, and he slammed down his beer the way a linebacker does, and he goes up front and starts pounding on these guys, just beating the hell out of them. A couple of gunshots go off during that bar fight. John got grazed in the neck with a bullet, and it goes behind him and into the wall. He was the only one that got shot, but he's the only one that got up. He goes back to the bar and tells the bartender, get me another beer, go get those 2 guys an ambulance. Irony of the story is that nobody died. So normally if I tell you that this building is haunted, you're preconditioned to think that some tragic death occurred here, right?
Right.
That's not the case. It's the bullet hole that's allegedly haunting the space. So even if this renovation of Big John's filled it in, they basically sealed Big John's blood inside the front of the building. People that sit in the front of this bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, headache. This is why we start here. Normally I have a whole full team of strangers standing in front of me and I don't know how it's going to affect them. Again, they've done this a trillion times already. So in the event you guys feel any of those headache, nausea, dizziness that I just mentioned, let me know. We will blame the weather first. I am not on TV where everything's going to be a ghost. So kind of keep that in mind. We will remove ourselves from the area and kind of assess it from there to kind of truly assess, like, was this from the heat? Was it from the humidity? Like, what's going on with you personally? So let's get your mind off your own health, just to kind of, that's literally the scariest thing I'm going to tell you because it deals with your own health. So, all kinds of whistlers out here tonight. I've heard another one earlier. It's kind of weird. So, big earthquake here in 1886. If you didn't already know that from any other tour. Have you guys been taking tours around town, by the way?
Yeah.
So you probably heard about the big earthquake of 1886 from some tour?
Briefly.
Yeah. Everybody talks about it because you're in South Carolina. We're not supposed to have earthquakes. We're supposed to get hurricanes here.
Right.
So this building is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. A piece of the white mantle broke off, hit somebody in the back of the head, killed him. Previous owner of this bar, in between the 2 Big John renovations, used to see dark shadows in the middle of East Bay Street after closing. So I say allegedly a lot with that one. Even to this day, I've been coming here for 4.5 years, same story, because I have no proof whatsoever. I've yet to find something relevant to that earthquake other than the word shake every once in a while that will show up on a spirit box or communication device. I do that so that way you guys aren't like, it's a segue, so you kind of forget that you have the possibility of getting sick out here. Yeah, it could happen, but yeah, that was a joke too. So I hate the fact that I got to point out my jokes. We got to get you guys to lighten up a little bit. So you guys ready to learn more about your gear? I know you guys pretty much got most of it down, but we're gonna have to talk about some of these things. And of course, you guys have never done this before. Also, we're gonna talk a little bit more at the next stop. So let's get away from this noisy street corner. Let's head up this way.
Is this recording?
I don't know.
Is this how
No, I
we did
just
it?
hit it again. No, that.
So your device, if you remember, starts to overwrite the letters that were already there. So when that happens, you're going to take the screen dial, turn it back to the left. Yep, just like that. So you went perfect when you went back. Because if you go further, keep turning it the same way. So you know, not all the way, forward. So we don't need the note. We don't need this note. So we're going to stick to the letter. Then every once in a while, it's going to have something.
Are we asking how old she was when she died? Or when she got married? How old were you when you got married?
I'm trying to make my way over to this corner.
What was the other question I was supposed to ask? I don't even remember. I just listed a love songs. Just the two of us.
Have you heard any names from Elf?
So we just got morning, but I don't know if that's...
Yeah. He said it was a love story. Can you tell us what your maiden name is? Can you talk to us? Are we nice people? Can you tell us what your maiden name is?
No, when you were talking about like getting married and stuff, I kept hearing a lot of like love songs, like just the two of us.
Definitely be.
Yeah,
Or nothing for it was on here.
yeah, yeah.
You're on the right track, but it's all the silly things that you're hearing. Even if it's not a direct can look, but I doubt that I'll be able to prove it. Unless I can actually get to that.
Eliza, did you pass away in the morning? Eliza? Paul, you try to get this.
What, Eliza, what president was your mom?
She got a
Yeah.
14.
Getting 13, 14.
You know that 11 is relevant, right? Do you remember?
I don't.
Caleb, you heard anything? Nothing?
Like, the biggest thing I've heard was the Mexico thing and the thing over there about
Was locked down.
what, like, I desire.
So your camera, Nate, it's not always a real-time moment, for me at least. I send those videos over to YouTube. I watch them on a large computer screen. So again, if I'm not following up with you as much because you have the camera, it's because I'm waiting for the aftermath. Like
Yeah.
that's where I normally, it's a
Oh,
magic
good. I'm
happens.
trying to kind of like pan the area,
Yeah.
rather than just like, I don't know, just be standing over there,
Right.
like looking at my feet or
Right.
something.
I totally get it.
So that
And
way I
normally,
like
what
it.
I tell you guys, especially because the other camera that I use is pretty small too, is usually just find a corner. Like normally, if I set up for an investigation on my own for a client or whatever, I just set the cameras up in corners of the rooms and let them run. Half the time, I'm not even in those rooms,
Yeah.
and I just watch it later and look for the anomalies. Watch
Yeah.
it fast forward, something happens, I'm going to see it. So,
Understood. So like, how far over did the building go,
it actually went pretty far.
or the
so,
property?
the whole, I mean, we're in the property still. Like the plat of land is the same.
Well, that's what I mean. Is it like this?
Nice.
So like this whole parking lot, essentially? Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
So her plat of land, like the house probably came to about right here, because their carriage house would have been on this side. This family had money, so they had their own
Yeah.
carriage house. And then the house probably came, probably back this far, roughly. So we're looking at, this was the house, and it was more than one story. So I mean, it was a giant home.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it as smooth as I can. So otherwise it'll be
Trust
choppy.
me, I've given that thing to kids before. You don't want to see half the bad videos I've had. Like what you're doing right now, especially at the height that you're at, like that's going to be beautiful for me to watch.
Yeah.
You can't screw it up.
Now I'm not gonna lie, when you handed it over to me, either you had it on or I had it on, one or the other. So like that whole time we were going over like everybody getting the equipment, it was
Yeah.
recording.
Oh,
So
that's fine. Doesn't matter.
You know.
Doesn't matter to me.
um,
I'm still on. Again, most of the time you guys record about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes worth of footage because I mean we're out here for 2.5 hours.
right.
So the beginning of it normally isn't fully recorded. I just record how to watch it,
Yeah.
and then I stop the camera before I hand it over. So it must have not have stopped completely before I handed it over to you tonight. Yeah, you're on record now.
Yeah. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. I watch minute 1, minute 5, minute 10. You see the pattern. Again, I'm not looking for anything unless you're like, I definitely saw something blue go by. I just can't tell what it is. That's when I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, watch Pinckney Mansion site on thermal, and I'll watch the whole thing.
Yeah, it was funny you mentioned the Indigo, and we went over to the dungeon tour today,
Mhm.
and that was actually one thing they brought up over there, just being
The
like one of the
Indigo.
resources
Yep.
of this town and what they were famous for. Like I had no idea.
Yeah.
That and the Palmetto flag too.
Yep.
And like I had no idea. That was really cool. I like this.
You're gonna
stuff,
see how a
so.
lot of this stuff ties together from things you guys have already heard. And again, no other tour comes here because there's nothing to see.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I love it. I get to spread out 10 people
Yeah.
and say, let's have a good time, and nobody's bothering us.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of it. I'm gonna do one more quick round robin and probably yank us all to the back. Like Reagan is starting to get the gist of this. I
Alright,
think.
Michaela got 18th and 19th.
Okay.
Mike got Christian and Dead. And I got a lot of activity over there. What was that number that I
You
said?
got a 38.9.
39.
39. like out of any name you could hear, that name which has some correlation. Like,
But it's weird they both got 37.
That is very
yeah.
like that's normally when something like that comes twice. That's perfect. That's
Yeah.
like that. It's like screaming at me. I don't hear that. All right, I say we wrap it up.
All right.
Hey, you ready? Let's go back. There might be other tour groups. It's a Sunday night, probably not. But if they do, just lower your cameras. Don't make me feel weird. But this is Philadelphia Alley. This place used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some of the duels because dueling was illegal and they had to find hiding spots. This happened to be one of those hiding spots. So we all tell the same story. Every ghost tour comes down here. And that was part of the reason why I was going to take it out of my route, because if you've been in Charleston, you've probably heard this story before. But the damn guy follows me around because we will be near a place of raised emotion for this guy for the rest of the evening. So the bleed over from here will go into the next location. We will literally be on the other side of that hedge when we leave this area. So obviously we're still close by. And then towards the end, we will be near his house. So we will be in a relatively close place for him all night long. Now, this particular story is the same story as everybody else, but I give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. Remember, you're looking for 8 and above just because of the lampposts. So, Doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. So that is exactly why Michaela is working for the letters RI, Rhode Island. That's actually the reason why I bought this device, because I was getting the letters RI on spirit boxes like yours. I bought that to verify it. We've had it about 7 times in the past year. More so with the other relevance to it. But Doctor moves here. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. So, I say his name slowly because in the event you two hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it is not coincidence. It is part of his name. So we get it here all the time. It actually showed up here last
We
night.
need to hear what you're listening to.
So Brown Eyed, actually, I mean, yeah, I know, but if he wants to listen, it's completely up to him. Because honestly, it's almost better if he doesn't hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that way, if he does find something and he doesn't know why it's relevant, what'd you get?
Screams.
More screams. That's the second time you've heard screams, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's the first
Oh,
time I heard
actually,
screams.
maybe.
What about JK or AS?
No. 3-letter words or more. R-I. So, moving on. Dr. Ladd moves down here because he is supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with the cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor. He moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. On his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. So somebody saw what was about to happen because he knew the coachman, and somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs, same initials as where the doctor came from. That's why we bought the device, to verify who it actually relates to. Every time we've gotten RI on Michaela's device, it's been in relevance to Ralph. So Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. I got some friends that will rent you a room, sir. Doc follows him. The two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. Well, Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is another reason I hate the story. It's because it's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit in the future will have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So why are we in Duelers Alley? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doc makes more money. He gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So they go see Richard III one night, and on their way home, they are arguing over the new actress that they just saw that they'd never seen before. Doc thought she was fantastic. Ralph didn't. Then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island, and they went their separate ways. Ralph has friends at the newspaper, and he asks them to put an ad in the paper for him, telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of stuff. Yeah, you want to make sure, like, go ahead and just hold that thing by the top, and you can just hold, yeah, there you go, and that way you can just get a view of the alley going downwards. So that way if a person's walking towards us, we'll catch it. So, where was I? Oh, Doc saw this ad where, you know, Ralph plays the ad in the paper, and Doc rebuttals with, let's go to Duelers Alley. We're going to settle this, and somebody's going to die. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb shit. Now, the two gentlemen came down here back to back, and they took their 10 paces away from each other. They turn, and Doc points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He did not want to shoot his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. However, Ralph still has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. He did fall to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. Now, he also refused medical treatment. I'm going to point out two things about the last part of that story. It is 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of them now.
Yeah.
Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. Obviously, he failed because he died. Every ghost tour that comes down here, that is all 339 ghost tours in Charleston, will come down this alley. They will all tell their guests to listen for the whistles. We have 2 cameras plus my voice recorder going right now. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, more than likely going to show up on one of these 3 devices right here. What do you got now?
Sing.
Oh, I have a whistling tune, right? I like it. If you're going to try this on your own and you're going to walk all the way through this alley, I can't take you all the way through because I've actually been kicked out of here. I'm sure you guys remember that part of your tour last time because I had been telling that story forever. But if you walk all the way through with your voice recorders, just remember every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle right down this alley. It's just something we do here. So just kind of keep that in mind of when you're debunking your own voice recordings. So let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. That's the fun part. The alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there, halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street, which is why I always stop at the gate. Yes, I've been down here with a tape measure, figuring it out. I'm that guy. I'm that nerdy guy that comes down here in the daytime with a tape measure, measuring the damn alley. But anyway, the reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept all the livestock for the city of Charleston. So this used to be called Cow Alley with the cows, goats, and chickens are all through here. And they started down there and just over time got longer and longer. So that means the bricks down at the other end are older than the bricks we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of this alley, with fingerprint swipes and others. And I used to take my groups all the way through for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. Now, you guys already know how I feel about cemeteries. You're not going to find that kid near that brick. That's the last place you're going to find him. So, November 26, 2020, took my entire group of 10 all the way down for their history lesson. They all huddle around the brick waiting for something to happen with the deer, even though I told them nothing's going to happen. And I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical because she was on the tour that night and Dad's getting yelled at. She was all about it. Now, we just moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I just keep my ass home. So the next day was the 28th of November. I called my partner that I had at the time and I told him what happened, and he laughed at me just like my daughter did, and he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. That's it. Reroute your group for tonight. Well, guess what? I'm sold out again. It's Black Friday. You guys are on vacation? I'm busy. So I had to reroute the group, but what I told them, I don't believe in the next story. I've never had anything happen over there, and I'm into vampires, not pirates. Now, obviously, you guys already know we're not doing the pirate story tonight, but here's what happened. Before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, the female pirate, Anne Bonny. I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe we'll get something. We go up around the corner, I told them what I did know about pirates, which wasn't much. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300 while we were doing that part of the investigation. I didn't know what it meant, I wrote it down. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720, the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. Wow. So I was going there day after day after day after day until finally I got booted out about a month and a half ago, like all of the other tours around town. So hopefully they're starting to loosen up on that. I did see 1 or 2 tours stop there last night, so I got my fingers crossed, like hopefully I can go back there. But what we are going to be doing when we get up and around the corner, we're going to be swapping out cameras with Tyler, and it's a cemetery story, obviously, because we're going to be. I know you're getting bitten up like crazy. I keep
It's
seeing
the whole weekend. I don't know what's going on with me.
Bring anything to kind of.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I'm gonna say because I don't carry that stuff because I don't know who's allergic to what. Now you're gonna have me itching. You guys see that now? She's like smacking bugs. I'm like, my head's itchy. So we're gonna go up and around the corner. Did we get anything while we were here? So, Mike, I know you had a few words. What'd you get that came out of your device?
I got okay, specifically, red, legally, sing, club.
I know you showed me red, but that's really not a relevant term here. We're a little too far away from the big red barn.
We're talking about dead, maybe blood.
It's a big stretch.
Yeah.
I like the specific nouns. I know you were focused on me, but did you capture anything while you were
The only thing I really heard was I heard dark twice.
dark?
Yeah.
Like dart or dark?
Dark.
Dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's dark out.
I like it.
Cash.
I was waiting to see. He can't hear us. Have you heard anything?
A couple of like things. Like,
Okay. What were they?
like someone said scream. They didn't scream, they said
You
scream.
got the word scream. Okay. Anything else? Scream in the dark.
I got it. Didn't I get screen?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it too.
Okay.
All right, so when we go up and
That's
around
cool.
the corner, we did get a 9, and then we had a 15 just like 2 or 3 nights ago around that corner. I was kind of surprised, and I'll show you where both of those, they were actually caught at the same location.
Okay. You
So
said-
really calmed down since last time I saw him. I remember him like bouncing off the walls, like last time. Okay. Like I just remember him being like super anxious, like lots and lots to say. And when we like get to the end of this, you can hit the stop button, give your hands a break. Like you're like trying to be super steady, and I love that. But you also look like very uncomfortable, and I don't want you to be. So it says there's no ghost here, but the Holy Ghost. It's because they don't want jerks like me with cameras like his to try to recreate what actually happened up there. And you don't need to film like right now, by the way. Click. Spirit boxes definitely listen in at this location. Yeah, you don't want to have it that way for sure. Definitely make sure it's horizontal, Nate. Your video will turn up sideways because they all get spliced together. There you go. So the headstone that you guys should be looking for is, you see the cross headstone in the back?
Mm-hmm.
It's to the left of that and one more row back. We were actually closer to her when we were in the alleyway, believe it or not, but this is the only way that we can get as close as we can to her. And then the light off to the left, that was put there on purpose by the church, so that way people trying to recreate this would get a light flare. Hence why we use the infrared camera and the thermal. Thermal is interesting because if I see any cold spots moving about, like the headstones are going to stay put. Like nothing's moving around in here.
Yeah.
So again, if I see a cold spot, I'll be interested.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
Go for it, man. You should be listening in.
What's the truth?
So, Jessica, we've actually that 9 and that 15 that we had, I think it was a 14, was actually close to this gate both times. So I can't really see whether there was something nearby that would cause that. So I would just kind of hang out by the gate and see if we get anything. I mean, we're going to get about probably 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage. And they're actually doing pretty well, which holding them steady. And Reagan, if you hear anything, just shout it out. See if anything's- This is a pretty easy story.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of research that can be done. I did try to find the records of the child. The husband's name is Gaston. That's not a name you're going to hear.
I got John.
No, he's telling you. I know. Nobody knows what their John is buried.
Yeah.
But this particular side of the church is where the curses come in, where I actually know
Yeah.
the different history. There's 2 different sides of the cemetery.
I gotta know your name.
You have to be a native Charlestonian to be able to be buried here. Nobody knows where John is buried. He's a native, and his funeral took place in downtown Charleston. So where else could he possibly be buried? Of course, there's a number of churches here, a number of graveyards, but the name John shows up here all the time. We get things relevant to him that we would normally get when we were over by, his bar. That's interesting. So that was cursed without the E. Am I correct in saying
Yeah.
that? Okay. Still love it.
Concerning.
A little bit. So yeah, this group's gonna want to come up here. So we're gonna take a few more minutes just because we just got here. We're just gonna chill out for a
About
few minutes.
celebrate.
Celebrate. Okay. By the way, do you guys, speaking of, do you guys remember what June 16th was this year? Anybody?
Yeah, it was
Come on, Dad.
yeah, it was Juneteenth, right?
No.
But
Come on, Dad. What was June 16th
Father's
this year?
Day?
It was Father's Day.
Oh.
That was like what?
So, I came down here because I don't work on holidays. So I came down here after my tour of the 15th, and I figured, well, it's after midnight. I came down here about 3 o'clock because my office is literally right around the corner, and I brought that camera. I wanted to see if I was going to capture it right on the anniversary, the only 2 times it's ever been caught. So I put my camera in between the bars, and I hear this. Hey, I thought it was somebody monitoring the area based on what the date was. Like somebody get the hell out of here. We're not doing this. So I literally pulled my camera out. I only had 1 minute and 8 seconds worth of footage. I go back to my car, I get back to my office and I watch the footage, waiting for that jingle, and hey, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
And it's 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning, like 3 a.m. Sunday morning. There is not a soul to be found anywhere. I just thought it may have been somebody like monitoring the area, waiting for people like me, trying to recreate it. But yeah, that's what I got. That's my ghost story with this location. Personal. I wasn't scared.
Nice.
It was just like, damn it, I don't want to piss anybody off. Like, I do this for a living. I don't need demerits against my business. Like, that's horrible.
I got 69 and then I got
59 was Dr. Ladd's address.
59. Okay.
When you said 69, I was going to like, close but no cigar.
Yeah.
I swear I just got taken on a trip to Mexico.
Again? It's probably the same commercial that came up before. 69. Mike, any words showing up with yours?
Jordan. And just the one concern.
You guys see anything weird going on with your cams?
No, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and hit stop on your cams. Any numbers coming out of yours? Now it's charging, so we're good. See this little wire right here? You may have to kind of hold it forward a little bit, right where my thumb is, just very gently. And that way we can get it to record. So yeah, you won't have to do it now until we get over there. But here's the quick history. One of the first times I came in here, I was just exploring this.
Any orange.
There's a
Gotta
problem.
fix it
I gotta
real
fix it. You're listening to a
Can
recording.
I ask him questions? Can I ask him
I'm
questions?
gonna ask the question and then I'll kind of pull things out. Or you can just push the
Good,
button that you
good,
have.
good.
I wanted to ask,
She can make this problems disappear. Training him. Mama told me.
Oh, Carol had it. I'm sorry, what was the question? Henry, let's get back to you, sir.
It's work.
I was about to ask you about your work. What did you do for a living?
1 point.
Looks like a little girl sitting in front of a doorway with a window.
Okay, can you
Her
guess what's
daughter.
time?
Wave.
She's got a little like old hat, like a old
election.
like an older hat with the
Time frame.
brim.
Carol?
Yeah, like what they
Share
were
wine.
what they would wear back in North Charleston.
Okay. Henry, not sure what's going on with that, but as soon as you said that, Mike, she said her daughter. So I don't
This
know
week.
that's dealing with Mary's
Take
daughter.
my whiskey lead. Neat.
Henry. Henry, whoever else is here, they need to take a step backwards and let you speak. We're asking you about your work. We have a few things that are relevant already based on the boxes that we use. So you-
Topics. Royalties.
let's talk about your work. What did you do for work? Henry, I really don't want to waste any time trying to draw you out. So I know we've kind of had some
Breathing.
differences. Yeah, there was somebody that had trouble breathing in that seat last night.
Warning.
What was the
Current
warning?
insurance.
What was the warning that you gave that young lady sitting there? She was touching the back. And her hands were like, oh my god. Henry, what was the warning that you gave? This isn't a question
I had,
a question I normally ask, but I want to see if you can answer us directly.
I didn't.
Then who was it?
We heard music for
Henry?
service July 2nd.
Henry, let's go back to your work a little bit.
Abstract. We talked about.
The last page that you wrote has a few specific words in the last line. If you can remember what those last words were, can you tell us any of the words that are in your last line?
visitor,
Your rights to broadcast.
Appreciate the word rights. You were a writer. And that was said out of context. Henry, what were the last few words that you wrote?
Change. German.
Cheese.
Aggression.
Okay. Henry,
the response,
I know you're not always happy about us being here, but this is how we learn. We've had some really good conversations this way. We're using the blue box. Don't let Mike stare at that
I've got
galaxy.
time.
Well, we don't have time. We're down to about 5 minutes already, Henry. kind of warning you gave her. Or you can say it wasn't you. Like any other images? Just the one? Yep. I hate to say it'd be great, but we at least have one. We've had nights where there's been 0. Like nothing showed up at all. But there's other nights where we've had all the way up to 10 to 12.
Certified pre-owned Honda.
Okay. Henry?
Celebrity.
Do you not like talking through the ladies? Is there something different when I have women sitting
Someone
here?
over.
What's different when I have females sitting here?
Better for me.
Everything.
Henry?
Introduction.
Can you use the blue box and give us an image, please?
Loss. Sign.
Henry, we'd like to know more about your last page.
I have a lot.
Can you tell us where your work is being held here in Charleston? What type of building is it?
Saw you through.
We go on.
Such.
Henry, what type of building holds all of the work that you
My
ever
buddy
wrote?
Hart. Justin. Never die. As human rights. Contraband.
She's getting a lot.
Middle.
Mostly garbage, but she's getting a lot. She's getting good at this.
Saves. Can't make that out.
Henry, I'm asking you about the building that holds all of your work. What is it?
1975.
Henry, is somebody else here with you?
Not important to me.
Okay, we're gonna stay on course. Let's get back to what type of building is holding your work. Images, Henry. Use images. Show us.
She
Can't find the right
passed
word.
away.
Tell us. You want to talk about your wife? You got to give me more than that. But I'm asking you about the building
Impossible.
that's holding all of your work. Use the blue box to show us.
The big sign now.
You have a little sign earlier?
Not yet.
There is a big sign on that building. What's it say?
This sign right now. Or
Follow.
7.
Crazy. If you drop.
Dr. Ladd, if you're here, happy birthday.
Program.
Surgery.
Dr. Ladd, if you're here, can you give us
Always.
your code word? That code word is purple for everybody that is not on there.
Easy come, easy go. Your language.
Happy birthday, Dr. Ladd. I almost forgot.
Confidentiality.
Henry, the building. Can you tell us what kind of
Slip
building?
by my side.
Got the word sign twice.
I have 2 demons.
To what?
Looks like
Crack. Fish
2
rack.
cats
Hotel.
almost with horns,
Run.
teeth, red eyes.
Henry, you're not scaring us with this image.
One's
Before
not
you
showing
learn.
its mouth, the other one is.
Okay.
Crack. I love
Oh,
it.
one has 1 horn, the other has 2.
It's true.
Henry?
I can't do this.
Yes, you can. You got about a minute
I
left.
can't wait for you to get home.
Wow. The word home is usually the key word where I'll kind of like from Henry. Like
June
all around.
28th. We did it.
Henry,
Don't never change.
one last question, Henry. Are you ready? When was your son's birthday? Tell us and we'll go home.
People are robbing me and taking.
Someone has gone missing.
Henry, when was your son's birthday? When's Willie's birthday?
This is Diego.
I had myself in.
I'll take the number. Can you tell us the number of his birthday? It's going to be hard to find the actual holiday in that frequency. You can show us in an image. We all understand what the image of that would be.
Because Chad.
Like actual cigarette smoke? Pipe tobacco?
Hosier.
I don't know that either Dr. Ladd or Henry even smoked at all.
This coming fall.
Ash.
Maybe the fire?
Introducing pop.
I think it's time to call it a wrap on this one. Let's get these ladies out of here. Go ahead and tap them on the leg. Mike, kill that thing.